Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight I would like to offer the elemental intuitive reading for the element of fire for the month of June 2024. Even if you happen to watch this after June, there still may be messages in there as the tarot and I-ching and the divine are timeless. So we will start off with an I-ching hexagram, which I cast before the video, saving a little bit of time there, and then we'll move into the tarot. And if you're interested as to why I read for the elements, there's a video in the description. You can check that out. Fire covers the zodiac of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So if you are an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or if you have fire high up in your chart, and there's a natal chart down below as well that I highly recommend. They're not sponsored, but they're really a good chart. They give you a lot of information. It's really detailed, so you get your actual circle chart with all the stuff. And then the one that I link also gives you what's called the Merlin report, which there's so much information. And every time you go back through and read the information, you find something different that you didn't notice before. It's fascinating. Anyway, on to the reading. So we'll start with our I-ching. And for fire, we have the I-ching of 17. And it is following or according with. It's following sublime success. Righteous persistence brings reward, no error. So basically, this is saying you've been kind of following a path, and you might be following a intuitive leader. It could be a boss, it could be a manager, but you've been following something along, and it's because of that persistence, the goal of achieving, that you're getting your success. And when it says no error, it usually means there's some things that may be a little bit of a hiccup along the way, but it's going to work out the way it's supposed to. So our bottom foundational line here. Those in power undergo a change. Righteous determination brings good fortune. Going forth from home and mingling with those outside will produce tangible results. So there's something going on that's above you, so to speak. And I don't mean that as in better than you. They're talking kind of in a power structure, so it could be a supervisor, manager, but they're saying those in power undergo a change. So there could be some shifting, there could be some promotion opportunities opening up. This is where your righteous determination, this is where you've proven yourself that you can do the work, you can achieve the goal. You've already accomplished a lot, but now it's time to, interesting phrase, put your money where your mouth is. So are you actually going to take the steps now that that option is becoming available to you? And it says, going forth from home, mingling with those outside produce tangible results. Bust outside of your comfort zone. That is the biggest part of what's being said right here. When you get outside of your home, the comfort, the safety, this is what I know, and you're mingling with those who are outside of your comfort zone, it's actually going to help you make the best connections, and it can actually support you in a lot of ways moving forward. So our secondary line, he belongs to or puts himself in the service of the boy and thereby loses the adult. So this new thing, the boy, and it's not meaning a gender, this is just the new thing that you are aiming for, takes you out of service of the adult. So the old thing has to fall away. This is that when you learn something new, something else has to come out of your circle. You don't actually lose the memory of it or the lesson from it, but you lose the need to be tied to it. So he belongs to or puts himself in the service of the boy and loses the adult means that old position that you had no longer serves you. You're setting yourself up for something new, and it's something that you are going to be able to grow with. That's the reason it's a boy and not a new door. So it's something that's going to have some growth potential. He belongs to or is in service to the adult and loses the boy by following the former in other words, the adult, he gains what he desires, it is advisable to make no move but to remain determined. So, you might start following something new. Doesn't always mean it's the best choice, and that's where, in the third line, you have the option to switch back to the other path. Does that mean that you're not going to have the availability to growth? Absolutely not, because you gain what you're actually looking for. So you might take this and step into this new position as a temporary and be like, ooh, no, this is way more work than it's worth. I'm not getting paid what I'm after. Or it could be that you stepped into some new project and you're like, okay, I thought I knew what I was doing. This isn't what you guys said. So what I'm getting is there could be a little deception as to why you started to follow the new thing, but you have the option to go back to the other, and it's actually going to be a benefit if you do. So our fourth line, following someone with an ulterior motive, persisting in this course will bring misfortune. But if, as he goes his way, he makes sincerity his beacon, what harm can come to him? When you follow someone with an ulterior motive, that's following the boy. That following that new thing may not be the best option. It could be. And the only way to know is to step out of your comfort zone. But by doing that, staying with that new thing, even though it's like, ooh, this does not feel right, this is wrong, there's a problem here. If you stay with that, misfortune. There's not going to be a good outcome. And when they say misfortune, it doesn't mean you're going to lose everything. You're just going to end up putting yourself in a stressed situation that is unnecessary. So pay attention to that. But if he goes his way and makes sincerity his beacon, when you go back to the other option that you had, the adult version, and you're like, it's not really what I wanted. I'm getting the outcomes I was looking for, but I was kind of hoping for something different. As long as you're sincere and that's what you're going for, this is honestly what I'm looking for, this is my North Star, there's nothing that really can get in your way. You'll get there. Might take a little bit longer than what you thought it would take, but you're going to achieve whichever goal. And they keep going back to work here, so pay attention to your work, I guess. Our fifth place line is, confidence is admirable, good fortune. So stay confident. You know your worth. Fire, you of all of the elements know your worth. And when you have confidence in, I know what I can do, I know what I'm after, I know these are the skills or the tools I need to gain, good fortune, no worries. Like, what's stopping you? You're stopping you. So quit doubting yourself. You've got the confidence. But confidence is not ego. Confidence is, I know what I know, but I also know there's more to know. Ego is, I know it all, get out of my way. Fire has a little bit of that, but right now what they're saying is, you already have the tools, skills, and abilities to take the next step. Be open to learning beyond that. So our capstone, he obtained people's allegiance and his followers clung to him. During the time he spent on the western mountain, the king made sacrifice. Let's see here. So, that's interesting. The author of this particular book, which is in the description if you're interested, says his definition or his traditional version of this is, by obtaining the allegiance of others, it indicates that those above the person in the situation have exhausted all merit. So the king's over there making sacrifice, basically, which the people are going, what are you doing, dude? This guy's the one that's got the, like, you Fire, you're the one that has the skills. You're drawing people in. The higher ups are basically, when they talk to me, when they talk about Western Mountains, they're talking about something that has already passed, because the West is the realm of the passed over, the underworld, the Summerland, whatever. So the king's over there making sacrifices, meaning the people above you, they've already kind of spent their energy, and the people underneath are no longer listening to them. But you're going to be the one that all eyes are going towards. So Fire, this month, pay attention to opportunities, but do not get wrapped up in the details of the new. Examine the new, by all means. See what's coming up with it. But if there's something that just deep inside you know is wrong, go back to what you know and look for the other opportunities. Because they're saying that there's two different opportunities. One is going to be a new opportunity, something completely out of the blue. But the other opportunity is going to be one that's been there for a minute. It's been a little bit slower coming to fruition. But if the new one fails, the other one is going to be a stable option for you. I won't say the better option, but a stable option. So that is the I-ching. Now we'll get started with our tarot. Get all my cards sorted out here. I read intuitively, so the messages that come through may or may not be the exact same as the messages on the cards. There are approximately 4 weeks in June, and so we will go week by week. We will read a guide or guardian, which is exactly that. It is either going to be a guide to help you through the week or a guardian to protect you from things that may be popping up you may be unaware of. There'll be a message from source each week, and that message is a positive affirmation, a supporting energy, basically saying source is with you, God, source divine, however you see spirit, and that energy is offering you a little bit of support and guidance through the words. And then we will look at a lesson or a challenge from the tarot, and it can be a lesson, something to work on, something to lean into, or a challenge, something that might be coming up out of nowhere that's causing a little chaos in your life. So we'll start with your first week's guide or guardian, and any decks, books, etc. that I use, they're all linked down below, so you can check those out if you're interested. Your first week for fire is number 21, Merlin the Dragon. You have the dragon of magic stepping forward. Very first week of June, which also portends some pretty good energy this month. When you have Merlin in any form coming up in your reading, first of all, the divine masculine is 100% working with you. Does that mean they're going to give you everything? No, absolutely not. But the divine masculine is a teacher, a supporter, but also a driver. They're going to help push you into the next aspect of whatever it is you're working on, whether it's relationships, whether it's business, whether it's building a house. You have this energy coming up of a supporter, of a motivator. There's the word I was looking for. And so this first week, really tap into that Merlinian energy. And Merlin was one of the best, most powerful magicians in lore. And Merlin's power was in helping people understand, or tweaking how they viewed the world to make them do the magic. He could do it, don't get me wrong. Merlin was powerful as all get out, but his gift was being able to convince you that you can do it. And that was a unique talent. So this week, first week of June, pay attention to those little signs and synchronicities. And they're saying, my guides are saying, probably some of your best guidance is going to come from the positive males in your life this first week. They don't always say a specific gender, but in this particular aspect, they are saying it's going to come from that direction, or at least the ones who exhibit the most masculine energy. So your message from source is leadership. Set your goals. Fire. This is the Leo energy. This is being not really aggressive is not the word I'm looking for, but dominant, confident, assertive with what it is you're looking for. This first week right now is setting you up really, really strong on the more masculine energy. And the message from source is you have the gift to lead. You have the support of the divine in a leadership position. The masculine energy is much more projective. That doesn't mean it's stronger or anything else. It's a projective energy. And with leadership, if you cannot exude confidence, if you cannot exude not really authority, but that ability to step up and take charge, people are not going to be as willing to follow. The I-ching even talks about through confidence is how you lead people. And your confidence is what's going to turn people's eyes to you. It's going to be that grounded, balanced confidence, by the way. But that is the energy that's coming up from source, is really pay attention to how you are putting your energy out this first week, because it's actually going to kind of set you up for success or little lower success. They're not saying it's going to be a bad week, but if you don't set up the foundation, might be a little bit wobbly to start off with. So your lesson or challenge from the tarot is the Seven of Wands. We have a lot of fire and dominant energy in this first week, but with the Seven of Wands, there's this risk of overconfidence. Oh, I've already done that. I don't need to work that hard. I've already achieved this thing, so why am I pushing so hard? That's kind of a little bit of a pop upside the head. You're confident, you know you know what you're doing. You have Merlin, you have leadership coming up this first week. The Seven of Wands is saying, don't get overconfident. There's still more to learn. Be assertive, be projective. You're a leader in whatever field it is you're working, but don't get to the point where it goes to your head. That's kind of the message that's coming forward for this lesson or challenge this first week. So your second week's energy, that is a guide or guardian, we have, ooh, cool. Number 3, transformation. It's kind of a butterfly dragon. With the dragon energy of transformation coming up, this is a period of change. This first week, you were basically showing, I have the ability to do the following. The second week this is that transitional period. This is where you might follow, as the I-ching talks about, this is where you might take off on that new thing, following the boy but forgetting the adult. Again, not always the best option, but you always learn from these options. So with transformation coming forward this second week of June, fire, it's going to be an interesting week. It's not saying negative, it's saying interesting. And it's also because this is a time of transition. It's a time of shifting from one aspect of your life, growing into something different, better, expanding. Yeah, expanding. They keep using that word. So we'll go with that. So the second week, you have the dragon energy of transformation, which is a beautiful shifting from one thing into another. The energy is a little bit unique. It can be uncomfortable, but growth is never comfortable. To grow is to step outside of your comfort zone. To grow is to have growing pains. They call them that for a reason, and that's the energy with these dragons, that they're coming up to say, yeah, it's not going to be comfortable, but we're here to help. Let us help you shift out of the old into the new. Your message from Source is moving forward, getting ready for positive change. It's a time of transformation. It's a time of transitioning from the old into the new. When you are moving forward, you're not focusing on the past because you're not looking that direction. You're looking forward, so you're moving forward. And with transformation as your guide or guardian, it's really saying the gates are open, the doors are open, the path ahead has been cleared, but there's two paths. Which one are you going to take? You can always bounce from one to the other. Doesn't say you can go back and forth, but let's say you take the new path. Like, I haven't been down that way, so I'm going to wander down that way, and if it doesn't work, there is a crossroads. You can go back to the other path that's still going. It just might take a little bit longer. But that's where you're at the second week, is you're now in the process of the change. You're in the process of moving from one thing to the other. It might not be comfortable, but it's moving forward that's important at this point. So your lesson or challenge is number 14, Temperance. Sorry, have to edit a little bit because I love this deck, but it's a little risque for the interwebs. With the Temperance card, let's switch sides on this so you can see it better. She is pouring from a vessel into a cup, but it's overflowing. Temperance is finding a new balance, finding a way to bring the blessings into yourself, but not hoard them because you're sharing them. This is the energy of as you give, you receive, as you receive, you give. So you're keeping this two-way energy happening. So with Temperance as your lesson or challenge is, as you're going through this period of transformation, of forward movement, of growth and expansion, don't forget to keep yourself balanced. Not always easy, But when you temper that forward momentum, when you temper that ego's rush, it actually brings you into the quiet confidence that draws people's attention to you. Whether it's the eyes of that specific someone that you're really hoping will look your direction, or if it's that manager that's like, that person has the it factor. Either way, it's that quiet confidence that's going to project you into that next level. So let's take a peek at our third week's guide or guardian. And we have the Dragon of 24. Whoops. Illuminary. The Illuminary Dragon brings light to the darkness. They expose the truth. You also have some angels coming up, and they're giving me the impression that this is Archangel Metatron with this one, or at least one of the seraphim. So you've got some very powerful energy coming forward this third week, and these energies are here to reveal. What happens when you illuminate something? You put a flashlight on it. You're revealing the secrets. In this aspect, what they're saying is these guys are going to guide you through any hiccups that might be coming up from that second week's forward push. And by illuminating, maybe this new thing over here isn't the best, but there's this little path that's going to take you further ahead back to the adult in journey. And you might actually find yourself in a better situation, but they're here to enlighten you. The Illuminary dragons, like I said, they're showing me the seraphim, so again, dragon energy. That's definitely energy of exposing things, revealing things. As the I-ching says, there's a point where people with unpleasant motives, or not great motives, I don't remember the exact word, but that's the concept, is exposed, and it's going to divert you back to your path. And that's what's happening in this third week's energy. So you cannot make this stuff up. I'm drawing the cards as we're going, by the way. You have resilience as your message from source. Rise above tribulation. When you have the Illuminary dragons coming in to guide you through and shift you away from the darkness, reveal the light to you, it gives you resilience. And with resilience, it gives you an escape plan. It gives you the ability to rebound. So yeah, things might not have went the way you would hoped. That happens. That's life, unfortunately. But the beauty of life in any aspect is as you're, tripping and stumbling and falling along, because there's times where it feels like it's just you're rolling downhill, but you're going downhill, so it's easier, right? Might be a little bit rough, but it's easier. And resilience means when you get to the bottom of the roll, you stand up, you dust yourself up, notice where the bruises are, but look how far you've come. Resilience is that ability to rebound. Yeah, things may not have been the best. The Illuminary dragons, the seraphim, are coming in to reveal to you, this might not be the best option, let's go over here. And that shows your resilience, being able to say, you know what, I oopsed here, moving on. Because when you are able to make that admission, it changes the energy. It's no longer, I'm a horrible person, I did guilt, shame, I did all this horrible things. So what? Are you going to learn from it? That shows resilience. Not learning from it means you're stuck. You're in quicksand. And it's not always the best place to be. But you show resilience, Fire, so it's time to move forward from that. Your lesson or challenge from the tarot is the Six of Chalices. Do not care what other people think. The Six of Chalices means you're kind of in the spotlight. Good, bad, and different. But don't let it go to your head. Don't let it discourage you. And part 3 to that, number 3, who cares what they think? You are learning, you are growing, you are changing as you need to. We're humans, that's what we're here to do. And the Six of Chalices is saying it could be a little bit of an emotional roller coaster this third week, especially because things are being revealed, things are being exposed. Good word. And you're showing your resilience because you're able to move beyond that. You're able to, ooh, you slipped, you made a couple bad choices, but you're fixing it and moving on. The Six of Chalices is saying that's not always a good feeling thing. It's necessary, but who cares what other people are staring at? Let them stare. Let those people just stare. Stare deep into their eyes. Oh, but who cares what they think? It's time to move forward. You are growing, you are learning, and like the I-ching says, there's really no error as long as you're paying attention, learning, and moving forward. So let's take a peek at your last week for June 2024. Which dragon wants to come forward for June? There we go. Well, that one leapt right out of the deck. Almost dropped it on the floor. It is number 26, the Healer. After everything that goes on this month, the outcome is actually really good. According to the I Ching, you're going to come to a point where people are actually turning to you for advice. They're turning to you as a leader. You have proven yourself. There are very good things moving forward for you. And once you've got through seeing through the unpleasantness, and you start to show your resilience because you're able to move beyond that and learn from it, you've taken into consideration what other people's opinions are, but you're not allowing them to sway you. That's when the healer dragon can come in, and the healing angels as well, because you can heal from those wounds. It's not always the most pleasant experience, but it's time. And now it's the end of June. It's time to heal up. It's time to go outside, have some fun, and being in the sun, allowing yourself to touch earth with your bare feet. And if you can't do that, get some rocks and put your feet on the rocks. You don't have to walk on them, but put your feet in them, because you're grounding out that energy that's a little unpleasant. When you have to go through those growth processes, especially when you have to course correct, it can build up a little bit of an energy gunk within your system. And the healer's saying, go outside, put your feet to the soil, put your feet on stone, Gaia's bones basically, and allow yourself to just exist. Smell the air, feel the sun on your face, feel the breeze. Hopefully it's not a tornado, but just enjoy that energy of just being outdoors. That in and of itself is exceptionally healing energetically to the human soul. So your message from Source is animal bond. And they say stand up for animals, but what I'm getting is this is a time to connect. If you've got pets, take them on a walk with you. Go outside with them. If you don't have pets, go to your friend's house that has pets. But really connect into the animal world. Sometimes it's a spirit guide that's an animal guide. And I know from personal experience, after my pups died many years ago, cute little thing. Anyway, when she finally passed away, it was the spirit world that actually helped support me a lot through that, because that's your puppy. I mean, I had my dog for 15 years, so it says a lot about the bond that built. So even if you're working with a spirit guide and a spirit animal, this third or fourth week is all about the healing. And sometimes having those healing animals come in, especially dogs, for some reason they are so attentive to our emotional needs. Cats are too, but cats are kind of like having a teenager at times. So depending on your cat. But dogs tend to be the ones that are more emotionally there for you. So work with the spirit animal of your choice or the physical pet of your choice, but really tap into that energy this fourth week, because this is a week of recovery. Not so to speak, but this is what's coming forward. It's a recovery week. The last week of June, you've done the work. Now it's time to kind of like, okay, I got this. I'm in this new position. I know kind of where I'm at. I know where I'm headed. Take the deep breaths. Take the 5 minutes out. Take your breaks if you're at work. But really work on recovering from the little bit of hectic month that's here. It's going to end on a good note. Don't stress about that. Just might be a little bit rough through the middle. So your last week's guide or guardian, of course it is number 17, the stars. Gotta make sure I get that covered correctly. So with the stars, you're shooting for the stars. Even if you miss, you land on the moon. This lesson this last week is really put yourself out there. Go outside your comfort zone. Not in a risky way, dangerous way, I should say. Every time you step out of your comfort zone, there's risk. But really allow the universe to guide you. And it may not be the most comfortable. Transformation, change, growth, forward movement, it's not always the most comfortable thing, but you're fire. You got this. Burn away the stuff that doesn't work. Put it into the incinerator of the Phoenix's energy. Allow it to burn you down and be reborn in something more beautiful, having more strength than what you had before. The I-ching talks about it, going forward, growth, becoming a leader. The cards have even referenced you as a magical time, a period of stepping into leadership. How that leadership looks to you is going to be different from how it looks to me, to how it looks to your neighbor, how it looks even to your partner at home. But tap into that energy and allow that growth to really expand you in this month of June, fire. And with that, I will end this reading. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video if you enjoyed this type of content, and comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, even criticism if you want to leave it in a constructive way, because we can all use the tips and advice on how to grow and be better. With that, I will let you go. Have a great month of June and enjoy the sunshine as much as you can.